I'm Daniel Andrews. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm in a network and action franchise locally, and I also have a digital group. Suzanne Taylor King is part of my digital group, and I'm very excited to be able to introduce her as the speaker on Sales Mastery today. She's got a career over 4 decades long, which you would never guess by looking at her. She probably started when she was 6 or 7, I guess, to make that happen. She specializes in empowering CEOs and entrepreneurs to achieve exceptional leadership, executive performance at the highest levels. And her comprehensive coaching programs are designed to address challenges faced by top executives, leveraging expertise in emotional intelligence, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnotherapy, positive psychology. She's 6 times been a 7-figure business entrepreneur, 6 times over 7 figures in revenue. She understands what it means to be a high-level entrepreneur, and her mission is to empower CEOs with confidence, authenticity, and charisma to transform their careers and their lives. On a personally professional level, she and I are BBFF, business best friends forever. Sister from another mister, brother from another mother. She is a truly good friend of mine. She has the uncanny knack of making everybody feel that you're her favorite person she's ever met in her life. And that's what makes her special in so many ways. She's one of the few people in my world that I can count on no matter what. You can't have Suzanne Taylor King, she's mine, but you need somebody in your world that when you can't be there, she'll show up. When she's on vacation, I cover her events. When I'm out of town, she covers my events. I wouldn't dream of having her speak without me being the one to introduce her, because she is an exceptional human being and an exceptional business person. I'm glad that she's here to share what she knows with y'all. So take it away, STK.
Wow. Thank you so much, Daniel. I truly feel the same about you. And thanks for having me here today, everyone. I'm really excited for our conversation today. So a few things right off the bat about me. I love interaction. So if you can be on camera, if you have something to say in the chat, if you want to raise your digital hand and have me clarify something that I'm going to talk about, I love that. And I will leave plenty of time after I give you the 3 concepts we're going to talk about today to increase your sales. And this is really authentic, really natural ways of having people be attracted to you and what you're doing. And I want to just propose this thought. If you have a pen and paper handy, imagine what is possible for your business if you had 40 people a month attracted to you in a way that made them lean in and say, how do I hire you? And if that were to happen with your business, how would that change things for you? I'm going to give you the 3 keys to having that start happening more often. How's that sound? That sound awesome? Yes? Thumbs up?
That's what we want to do.
Am I allowed to take myself off speaker view so I can see everybody? Okay, cool. Awesome. I don't care if you want to record it that way, but I like to see everybody's faces that's participating. All right. So what I'd like to do first is tell you the 3 keys of charisma that drive sales that we're going to talk about today. I call my process the charisma factor, and this came from 10 years as a coach and people asking me, how do you do that? How do you meet people, interact with people? How do you meet so many people and have so many people asking you how to work with you without a sales conversation? And I thought, I don't know, I just do it. And it made me look at my process and really break it down. And it came down to these 3 things: authentic vulnerability, strategic storytelling, and emotional resonance. So all 3 of those things have to be in place in the conversations that you're having. And don't worry, we're going to go into how to do that today. I am going to share a couple slides with you, and I promise they won't be boring. But first, I'm going to ask you to go into breakout rooms And what we're going to do in the breakout rooms, parties of 3, and it's only going to be for about 6 minutes. So this isn't a networking thing. This is a purpose thing. And I want you to explore what is possible for your business. And if you put these 3 things into place and you 10x'd the amount of people interested in you, what would be possible for you? And it's going to be different for each one of you. It could mean, for me, it meant less networking events. It meant more referrals. It meant less sales conversations and more people calling me and saying, oh, so-and-so told me about you and I need to hire you. And I loved that. That's what was possible for me. So what you're going to do, there's going to be 3 people in each breakout room. You'll each have about 2 minutes to share what would be possible for you putting these things into place and having people actually lean in, reach out to you, message you on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your platform of choice is, get emails from people introducing you or connecting you to clients. What could that mean for you in your business? Let each person share. And please, when someone shares, give some positive encouragement or feedback or, yeah, I love that. So this encouragement between each of you is part of that authentic vulnerability that builds relationships. One of the things I love about Daniel and my relationship so much is that if I get a huge client and I call Daniel and say, oh my gosh, I just got this huge thing or speaking gig or made a large amount of money. He is so happy for me and encouraging of me and positive, and I do the same for him. And of course, if there's negative things to share, if I need help with something, I have that person to go to. So those relationships, cultivating those is part of that number one thing, authentic vulnerability with your connections. So I hope that fosters some of that in the breakout rooms today. Daniel, breakout rooms ready for everyone?
It will be in just a second. So the focus
Okay.
of the interaction is
Yes.
how can you support, or excuse me, what would it mean to you to have that charisma where people want to actively support you? Since
Yes.
it's 2 minutes per person, don't take your whole 2 minutes explaining. About a minute explaining and then 30 seconds of reflection from each of the other people on what you just said.
Yes.
So this will be short and we'll shut it back down. We're going to randomly generate that. So hopefully you end up in a room with people that you like, and away we go.
What were the 3 things? Authentic vulnerability, strategic storytelling, and
Emotional resonance. But in the breakout rooms, you're just going to share what would be possible for you. And whatever that number is, it could be 5 clients a week. It could be 40 clients a month. It could be 1,000 people reaching out to you. What would be possible with that happening inbound rather than outbound efforts? What would be possible for you?
Cool. All right, 3 per room. Look for the little blue button on your screen. Blue button on your screen, look for it.
See you back in 6 minutes. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that was an amazing, imaginative experience. I'd love to hear from a couple voices in the room. If anybody would like to share what their breakout room talked about, you can raise your digital hand if you'd like to share. If not, we'll get right into it. What I hope your takeaway is from that experience is the commonality of what this could mean. Maybe you saw similarities with the people in your room. Maybe you got inspired by something someone else said and you thought, oh, me too. That would be possible for me. And this shows you as entrepreneurs that we really are so similar. And sometimes we have a divide and sometimes we don't notice those similarities. Patrika, is that how you say your name?
Yes, that's correct. I'm
Awesome.
Patrika. Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all as well. I broke out with Jody Rubin. She is a mortgage officer, and I am a printing company that deals with promotionals, vehicle wraps, and apparel. So she and I had a similarity that we wouldn't have to work as hard if the business was coming to us. We could work smarter and not harder. It would give us more time for training, for teaching, for education within our respective industries. And bottom line, it would increase our top line and our bottom line.
Beautiful. And how did that feel? Did it feel exciting to have that in common?
Well,
with
it
someone else
did.
too?
It did. It was confirmation, and it definitely was encouraging. So the magic is making that happen.
Great. Great. Well, you're going to walk away with my top 3 tools to make that
Excellent.
happen today.
Thank
So,
you.
awesome. Isaac.
Yes, ma'am, Miss STK and everybody. So Mr. Sam and Miss Marie and I were in our group, and Mr. Sam gave me a great idea. He's a wealth advisor, and my group is actually called the Health of Wealth, which is beautiful.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you. And he said that he only needs 1 to 2 clients per month realistically to really help him in his business to grow and to be able to hire more people to his team. And it's pretty much what I need as well if people are signing up for a 6-month or a 12-month plan with me. And then right away, Miss Marie and I connected very closely as I'm a nutritionist and master fitness trainer. She's also a personal trainer, and she's a holistic coach as well. So we got to talking about how we need a one-to-one together to talk about connecting with more open-minded people who are looking to develop themselves, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually as well for their growth and evolution. So it was beautiful connecting with those two. They're really awesome people.
Nice. So the commonalities between your group is really, it's not 100 people that you need reaching out to you. It's 1 or 2. So this deepens the idea that your network can actually be providing those people for you, not just, hey, Isaac, you need to have a conversation with Bob, but Bob has been told he needs to hire Isaac, and that's a totally different conversation. And we're going to get into that a little bit today. And if you want to learn, Daniel's taught me everything about referrals and really deepening those relationships. And what I'm going to talk about today is such an addition to that. It's who you need to show up as in your business. And this is not fake it till you make it. This is natural things that you can do to enhance your personality and your interpersonal skills without persuasion, without manipulation, without overcoming objections. So let's get into it. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. I do have some slides, and I don't normally do a ton of slides, but the thing that's really cool about this slide presentation is it was created using AI from my notes on this chat. So I teach a lot about AI and how to shortcut things. So if you like the looks of this presentation, I'm happy to share with you. I left the name of the tool. It's written right here on this first slide, made with Gamma. It's super simple. It creates awesome slideshows, either for courses or, so that's my little advertisement of Gamma. All right. So what I'm proposing today is you having a secret weapon in your back pocket for attracting prospective clients to you with a natural appeal, rapport, and vibrant energy. I don't know if you notice, I have very distinctive glasses on. I'm wearing pink today because it's a great color for me in the summer. And I have a very distinctive background. Why? People remember what you show up looking like. It doesn't mean you have to be done up or made up. I have shorts and flip-flops on, totally transparent, but I show up as bright as I can for meetings like this. And why do I do that? Well, pink looks good next to gray hair. White glasses look good with white hair. Okay, so it's distinctive. It brings out vibrant energy. So if you've ever wondered how some leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners show up and magnetically attract a loyal following of people, people who talk about you in rooms you're not in, people who invite you to Zoom meetings while you're cooking dinner, this is how it happens. All right, let me go to my next slide. And for some reason, there we go. So here's the 3 keys we're going to talk about today. And don't worry, you don't have to scribble down a bunch of notes. I give away my slides, my notes, and everything on the last slide. You'll get a little bonus QR code to scan, and you can have all the notes already done for you. So 3 keys: authentic vulnerability, being your true self. I am a goofball. I love jokes. I love casual attire. I'm not stuffy. I don't mind if you interrupt me and ask a question if it pertains to what I'm talking about. And that authentic self has won me more business, and it can for you too. Strategic storytelling. I'm going to get into the hows of that, but things in common with the people that you're talking to, a vision for the future of the relationship, going into every conversation with an intention of win-win outcomes, and being of massive, massive value to the people that you talk to. Every presentation that I give away my slides, my notes, and resources. So you're going to walk away today feeling like you had a masterclass with me, not just a boring talk, not just me spewing information at you, but something that's interactive and meaningful. I might even tell a funny story or two inserted into this talk. Emotional resonance is number 3. So you have to have a persona, a story about you. 6-time entrepreneur. I was a dental hygienist for 20 years before I became a coach. That's where I learned all of this. And let me tell you, I did not learn these things having my first business. There was no social media or internet when I had my first business. The emotional resonance piece came from cleaning teeth 40 hours a week, new patient every hour I had to talk to, interact with, build rapport with. They had to feel safe. They had to let me in their body with sharp instruments. That was a skill, to get people to trust you in a way that they feel able to be vulnerable in your presence. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. All right, so authentic vulnerability. There's some key steps to that, and I go into this in my course and in my upcoming book, but the basics of it: being able to regularly engage in self-reflection. How am I doing? How is that? And being able to receive negative as well as positive feedback. And allowing this to happen allows you to identify areas that you're holding yourself back due to fear of judgment or rejection. Show of hands, how many times you have not offered your product or your service to somebody because you thought, they're not going to need me. They're not going to say yes. They are so far above me, or they couldn't possibly want to buy X from me. How many times have you held yourself back? And when you can embrace imperfection and practice transparency, you establish trust at a different level. Now, notice when I am talking about trust, I soften my voice. I'm less bold. I'm more inviting. I'm warmer. Why? I'm inviting you to trust me here. And when I tell you that trust not only can you borrow it from other people, I learned how to do that from Daniel, but trusting relationships, you only need a very few of those relationships to catapult your business to the next level. And I have about 50 of those, which is a lot. And that results in enough clients for me and enough new people being connected to me because of those trusting relationships. So right now, write down 5 names of people that you have relationships with that you would like to deepen the relationship. And I'm going to challenge you, those 5 people, if their ideal clients are the same as yours, and you take the first step into deepening the relationship, meaning a text message, a phone call, or an email that says, hey, Bob, I know we have the same ideal client. We've had a couple of conversations before, and I would really like to get to know you and your offers better and have you get to know me and my offers better so that we could refer business to one another, actual money to each other. And how would that be for you? And what does that look like? And that could actually, it requires a little vulnerability on your part, right? But that could result in 20 key relationships for you. What do you have to do when you ask people to deepen their relationship with you? These are the things you have to do. You have to listen. And if you get on a call with a stranger, total stranger, you have to listen for how you could serve them, not sell them, serve them. And if you do this correctly and authentically and naturally, reciprocity is going to kick in and they're going to want to help you. So by providing massive value, giving feedback, asking deeper questions, being interested in other people encourages that reciprocity. What you might have to do, because this works so well, is make sure you have boundaries around your time and your calendar. And also manage the emotional risks for yourself of being vulnerable. Lastly, getting feedback from a trusted network. If you have 5 or 6 people in your network that you really, really trust, this is not friends and family, this is in your business network. Ask them for feedback. Ask them for feedback on your ideal client, your offers, and get those people into your world and get that feedback. Was that a question I heard or just somebody unmuted, Daniela?
I did not see any questions.
Okay.
Or hear any either.
Awesome. Okay. So here's my favorite picture of myself showing my authentic, vibrant, and slightly vulnerable because I got made fun of for this picture numerous times. And guess what? By practicing that self-compassion, being kind to myself, the people who made fun of this picture, what do you think? You're a rock star, Suzanne? Yeah, I do. And I'm going to pretend to be one at my photo shoot. Thank you so much. Recognize that sometimes you being yourself will actually get criticism from some people close to you. And that's okay, because repelling those people who are not going to refer business to you, not want to work with you, is actually really a good idea. And that has allowed me over the last 5 or 6 years to step into who I really am. And this picture encompasses that for me because it shows I'm fun, I'm like excited, and the fact that I want to be a rock star. My clients want to be rock stars in their business. So it was perfect. It's a perfect expression for me. And I didn't let somebody criticizing it hold me back from, it was on the front page of my website for a long time. And that's why I share it here, because of that. All right, next is storytelling. Storytelling is where you resonate with your audience. My very first business was before social media, before like any like marketing per se. It was a brick and mortar business. So imagine having a brick and mortar business with no money, no advertising, no social media. It was all word of mouth, and asking for that word of mouth. Tell your friends, tell your friends. Oh, you liked what you bought today? Tell your friends. It became an underground thing. And that story I have told hundreds and hundreds of times, of having a business marketing campaign that was a bumper sticker without a phone number, without an address, just the name of the business. Here, stick this somewhere, tell your friends. That was the marketing that I did for that business. And it resonated with my audience of that business, was teenagers buying skateboard and snowboard and surf apparel. It resonated with them. The marketing matched the consumer because of the story behind it. Inspiring action through stories is really exciting for me. So having a list of stories, and I recommend 25 or 30 stories from throughout your life that you don't have scripted, you just have those stories and they're bullet pointed in your mind. And those are the stories that you use to connect with other people. And that is what leaves a lasting impact. And I'm going to share this story. I wanted a guest on my podcast who wrote a very famous book. The book was called Category Pirates. It's about designing category of one businesses. I'm a huge fan. I've studied it for years. And I was doing research on one of the authors, Kevin Manny, doing research, looked at his website, read about him. Okay, how can I get this guy on my podcast? Well, I notice on his website, there's a picture of him, and in the background, there's a concert poster. The concert poster was the name of a band. The name of the band was Total Blam Blam. I said, Suffragette City, David Bowie. I'm going to message him on LinkedIn and ask him if that's a David Bowie cover band. He said, why, yes, it is. Thanks for noticing. I'm in the band. We had a conversation about music because of my history working in the music industry. One thing leads to another. We're now friends. He's been on the podcast, and I build a relationship with him because of the story behind him. So instead of connecting with him because I wanted something from him, we connected based on something he's passionate about, something I'm passionate about, had an awesome conversation, all because of story. So leaving an impact, being memorable, is more than just your business. And you got to find those stories within yourself. So how do you do that? You have to know the importance of the stories in your life to making sales. So what are those stories for you? And more important, what stories of yours are going to resonate with your ideal client? Obviously, building a relationship with an influencer over music is intriguing to you guys. They're like, oh, I never thought of building a relationship with somebody over their interest and love in music. So it goes beyond what you just do for a living. We're humans, and I'm asking you to connect with people human to human rather than, hey, I'm Isaac and I want to sell you my personal training program. I don't even know if that's what you do. I'm just assuming. So cultivate an environment of shared values. Come up with your stories and think of stories that are going to resonate with your ideal client. This is knowing your ideal client really, really well. Psychographics, demographics, where they hang out, how old are they, what are their problems, and then demonstrate your strengths in those areas. Really, really cool to brag about yourself, but it doesn't feel like bragging when it's in a story. So it's achievements, maybe wisdom you have, and it comes off way more humble, way more authentic when you do it this way. And this allows you to have more authority, more influence without it being fake or forced. Real life, my dog's going to bark in a second, so my apologies. Celebrating other people's successes. I use my own successes to celebrate other people's successes. And I use social media a lot for celebrating other people, people on my podcast, people that are my clients, people that are in my network. Sharing other people's stories ups your authority. So these 4 things all combined together are how you can use strategic storytelling either during a networking event, in a breakout room, on social media, or in one-on-one conversations with other people. Any questions so far on storytelling? All right, we're going to talk more about it. Okay, so guidelines. If you want to scan this QR code, you're going to get guidelines for pulling out the best of your stories. You're going to learn how to identify an emotion by identifying core emotions such as courage, perseverance, joy, discovery, whatever your ideal client is looking for emotion-wise from buying your product or service. You're going to tell stories that evoke those emotions. You're going to relate to universal themes. This is where ChatGPT could really help you come up with some story ideas. And include key lessons in your stories. And scan this code. There's no opt-in. You'll just get some story ideas from this code. And don't worry, I'll share this again with you at the end. All right, lastly, I know I talk fast, but I want to leave lots of time at the end for interaction and Q&A. Emotional resonance. I typically, if a client is not introduced to me, I've chosen them. And this is a bold claim, but I can at will choose and create a client if I want to. And that is all done through emotional resonance. There's 3 steps to that. I have to know the person. I have to be able to research a person and find out about them, who they are as a business owner, a founder, and connect with them on social media is one thing. Ask questions that matter is another thing. But to actually know the person means I have to get them on Zoom or the phone and have a conversation. And that art is done through the other 2 things I talked about. It's done through storytelling, and it's done through that vulnerability piece. Then, when you're on the phone with somebody, are you more worried about telling them about you? No, we are worried about them telling us about them. Always let that other person go first, and then you're connecting through their story, how they want to connect. That's how you foster deeper connections and more meaningful conversations. So if I'm meeting someone for the first time, it's all about them. I don't care if I get to talk at all. I want to know why they started their business, how they take time off. I ask so many questions and get them really in their passionate state of their why and have them remembering why they started their business in the first place. And by the time the conversation is over, they feel heard, they feel validated. They might have even been vulnerable and told me their problems with their business. And that's my cue where I can provide massive value to them. And the personal vulnerability comes in for me when I hear someone who's struggling with something that I used to struggle with. I can honestly say, been there, done that. I get that. I hear you. And connecting in a heart-centered way. One of my newest clients, his father passed away not too long ago, and he was telling me the story of it. And I got quiet and I put my hand on my heart and said, I feel that deeply. I had a very close relationship with my father also. And immediately we were connected on that feeling. It had nothing to do with business. This is human to human. He's now a client of mine and refers other clients to me. So by having that personal vulnerability, connecting to your own stories and using those to connect with other people, and it's just a beautiful dance of human relationship. So now I'm going to have you pause and reflect a little bit about your own stories that could do this for you. And just pick two right now. Pick two stories from either your business journey or your life journey that would allow you to connect with people on a deeper level. And maybe there's stories you don't normally tell in business. That's what can be really powerful and also a really good relationship builder. Jot down an idea or two. And if you need more emotional undertones, I'm going to give you this example. My ideal client struggles with working too much and balancing time with their family. They most likely never take vacation. They are obsessed about their business. And even when they're not working, they're still working up here. And so, what emotion are they looking for when they overwork like that? They're looking for satisfaction in their job. And that could mean more money, more influence, more authority, but they're looking for more satisfaction. And really, what they need is time away from their business. And I have numerous stories of going away on vacation without my phone the first time as an entrepreneur, for a week without my phone, left it at home and went on a cruise. Oh my God, I had so much anxiety. I totally get how you're feeling. And the third day of that vacation, my 4-year-old son at the time said, "You're not working this vacation, mommy?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I never work when I'm on vacation." And he said, "Yes, you do. You always have your phone." Oh my God. He's 4 years old and he's noticing that I'm working when I'm on vacation. So immediately that message got changed in my being, in my soul. Now phones are not on vacation with me. They're not in my face. And my dog's agreeing. She's like, "How about taking the dog on vacation?" All right. So how are we going to cultivate charisma? Ultimately, confidence, embracing your strengths, empathy for other people and their journey, especially your ideal. Fall in love with your ideal client's pain points more than your solution. I don't care about your solution, and neither do they. They don't care about your program. They don't care if it's 6 weeks or 10 weeks or 1 year. They honestly, they don't even care how much it is either. All they care about is their problem. And if you can solve their problem, they'll fall in love with you as well. Infuse your message with your enthusiasm. My best-selling programs, my best-selling offers are when I say, hey, Sally, I created a coaching program based on the work I've done on myself in the last 2 years, and I think it's perfect for you. Do you want to hear about it? Yes. When I try to create something to make money, oh, I know entrepreneurs need how to use LinkedIn. Didn't make a dime, nothing, because it wasn't the journey I took myself. So creating from that empathetic, heart-centered me, I did this work, you need to do this work too. That passion that I have, that sells more than anything else I could possibly dream of doing. And when you let your true self shine, it's the best sales tool you could ever imagine. Okay, transformation awaits, embracing your charisma, unlock the 3 keys. You can connect with me. I'm going to share my LinkedIn profile. I give some amazing, amazing tips away in my LinkedIn newsletter. Elevate your impact and become that beacon of influence and trust and inspiration for clients, and they will reach out to you. Now, how can you reach out to me? You can get your storytelling ideas, a monthly event. I host a monthly free event that teaches you more of these things, how to attract clients. This past month, it was actually just last week, I taught about some tools using AI to help you attract more people to your events. And this is all free. This is all for you to get. You get 25 story ideas. You get your monthly newsletter on LinkedIn. You get the Attractor event workshop should you choose to attend. If you want the recordings of all the past Attractor event workshops, they're all on my YouTube channel, all there for you. And if you would like to hear about the Charisma Code 12-week coaching program that's kind of evolved into a mastermind, I'm happy to talk about that as well. All right, I'm going to stop my share. And I want to open the floor for conversation, connection, and questions. How can I serve you? We can do a little hot seat coaching, or we can just do a straight up Q&A.
All right, everyone. If you want to chime in, feel free to unmute yourself, speak up, or you could raise your hand or light up the chat.
Hi, I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed hearing what your pitch is, your ideal client pitch. And I really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. Thank you.
That's nice. All right. Anybody else? Oh, Susan, you're on mute there. I'm not sure if you're aware.
My dog was barking. Sorry. Anne, thank you so much. What stood out for you? What did I say that made you feel connected to that message?
I really liked what you said in terms of my ideal client is someone who is overworked or who is not getting enough time away. As a massage therapist, this is something that people come to me for. They come because they need to take time away, but they don't have a lot of time. They can't go on vacation right now. Also, as a business owner myself and someone who's answering the phone all the time and has the same complaints from her children because I'm building a business and I don't want to miss that call. I've been practicing lately, though, saying, hey, instead of packing it into this week, for myself, I say, hey, I have time next week. And I'm trying to train people that they can come a little later, unless it's an emergency. Of course, for my membership, I will be there on the spot, on the dime. But for new clients, they expect to wait. They expect to wait, and they should expect to wait. So it kind of like your idea, the turn the phone off. I do that more often than not. I'll go on a big walk without the phone. Or something like that. But it's true. I do tell my kids, though, that I am building a business and that this is for us. And so it's also important that I respond.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, your ideal client, you're creating a space for them to have a mini vacation.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
My time with my massage therapist, any of you that live near Marlton, New Jersey, and you want to have a 90-minute experience that will like make you forget your business, let me know and I will give
Yeah.
you Luther's name and information. But it's been transformative for me, for somebody who sits or stands or, is on stage
Yeah.
presenting. My body language and mechanics are really important to me. So you're giving that to people. Fall in love with that, and
Yeah.
people are going to connect with you in such a huge, huge way.
And I already do a lot of what you're talking about. I do have a blog that I write on my website, and most of the new clients who did not come through referral say, I read your entire website, and which is really phenomenal. And
Yeah.
then the reviews help a lot too with getting bumped up the listings. So I've already got that going on. I don't have AI, I don't have CRM. This is my closest approach to SEO. So I'm still learning. And I would actually love to get on stage and talk about what massage can do for people and some simple hacks and stuff, because I do like to train people. I realize there just aren't enough people out here teaching this. So I do put myself out of business on a regular basis by teaching people how to take care of themselves. And what you're talking about, the mini vacation, is what I need to sell, because
Yeah.
I will still teach you how, like the posture to put yourself into to release your low back, but you still want to come and get taken away on a
Yes.
vacation. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm, just talking about it, I'm smelling his office. I'm like, oh, yeah, I almost fall asleep driving home and it's literally 5 minutes away. Like I'm in a different place after
Yeah,
I,
you go into the parasympathetic. And
Yeah.
also I've started to work with clients where, one really likes peppermint. So I'm like, here is a little bit of peppermint oil to take with you on the airplane when you go on your big business trip, so you can be transported back to
yes.
what we're doing. And it really is Pavlovian. At this point, I've had thousands of massages and I can just lay on my own massage table. And it's like I've had a massage because I'm so trained to let go.
Yes. Love
So
that.
it's good. It's good that you have that sensation return
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
All right.
It's
Thank
really
you.
good. You're welcome. Joyce said, great information. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Shannon. Daniel says, fall in love with their problem, not your solution. Yes, fall deeply in love with that problem. Victor says, what is my business, Suzanne? I am a coach for entrepreneurs, CEOs, and founders, and I have a 8-week accelerator program. It's a year's worth of coaching in 8 weeks, because who wants to wait a year to get results in your business? And a 12-month coaching program, which is all around what I talked about today: body language, eye contact, people skills, stage speaking, crafting stories. And I've been doing this for 15 years and I absolutely love what I do. Who's got more questions? Who's just starting out in business and feels like they need the basics of being set up and being organized? I have a great book to recommend. It's called Book Yourself Solid by Michael Port. It's what I used to teach in my business basics coaching program. And it really has the foundational things of getting you set up with the right boundaries and the right, social media presence and your velvet rope policy, your calendar boundaries, and all that good stuff. Thank you, Daniel. Any other questions? Come on, don't be afraid.
Hi, I really do like the takeaway of the bright clothing and of the glasses. So I will take in that all encounter when I do get on Zoom, is to be bright and
Yes.
use those colors. So I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate the entire presentation, but I thoroughly see where you're coming from with that. And you look marvelous, by the way.
Well, thank you. So do you. And lighting is really key. I'm very, very lucky. My office is in a sunroom on the back of my house, and the natural light in here is phenomenal for my hair and my skin. And, I do have lighting when it's a cloudy day, but it makes all the difference in the world. And I would say when you're on Zoom and you're giving a presentation, show your hands. You know, if you have something really impactful to say, lean in and whisper into the microphone. Like, it gets people to pay attention. And it's just little things like that that I've learned over the years. And on Zoom, know your box. Like, I know how big my box is here on Zoom, and use it. Use the full space of the box and treat that dot, you know, where your camera is, like the face of your best friend. Smile and engage. And if you're on Zoom with one other person, the hardest thing to do is not look at the other person. It's really, really hard. And if you make eye contact with the dot, they feel more connected to you. Lean in, and you know, those just little things build trust. And it's not fake. It's not, I mean, the people that trust me for a reason, and you can't fake that. Um, so you do what you say or you don't. You're trustworthy or you're not. So if you're not and you do these things, it's not going to work to build trust with people if you're not a trustworthy person. You can't fake it. Thank you,
Ms.
John. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Mrs. STK, that was
Yes.
a powerful presentation, and we truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
I do have one quick question for you.
Yeah.
Fall in love with their problem, not your solution. So obviously we need to be concerned with their problem, but we also need to apply the solution. So give me one really quick example of what you mean by that.
Sure. Are you a personal trainer? Health coach?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Fitness trainer, personal trainer, and nutritionist. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you work with people all in person or virtual and in person?
99% in person. Very,
Okay.
very rarely virtual. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I did that for a long time. So I know your ideal client's problem. They feel insecure. They want to look good. They want to feel more energetic. When I was a personal trainer, most of my clients had either gone through a breakup or a divorce, and they were between 30 and 50 pounds overweight. Could not hold plank, could not do sit-ups, could not like do a pull-up. And the male clients were not feeling very manly. The female clients were feeling old and frumpy, and they had ultimately a lack of confidence with the opposite sex or the same sex. Didn't I have to be politically correct? And so the problem isn't being overweight or not eating right or not knowing how to work out. The problem is a lack of a fulfilling relationship, lack of confidence in themselves, lack of swagger. How many people have you met that are great at what they do and they don't have any like zhuzh about them? I mean, they don't have any like outward energy about what they're doing. And that's what your ideal client is struggling with. And it's all up here. They're not telling their friends, boy, I really feel insecure when I take my shirt off. Boy, I really feel insecure out in the dating world. They're not talking about those problems. But if you fall in love with those people and those problems, they're going to feel that from you. He understands. He gets it. And he's the one for me to hire to feel more confident, feel more energetic. Not he's the one that's going to teach me how to eat right. Everybody knows how to eat right, Isaac. Everybody. They just don't do it. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Perfecto.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Who else? Let's go. Let's go. This is fun.
What's the key to making everybody think that they are your favorite person on the planet?
I'm so embarrassed. Nothing.
She would introduce me to people and I would argue with them in our one-to-ones about whether or not she liked me better, or she liked them better. And I finally figured out that's her gift. We all think we're number one.
I actually, I don't know how I do that. Except I genuinely like 95% of people that I meet, and the people who I don't know, maybe it's a vibe, it's an energy thing. But the people who are around me, I feel lucky to have those people. And maybe that's the energy, maybe it's the reciprocity thing. Maybe it's the fact that I'm a good listener and I ask good questions. I don't know. One of my fans just came in the waiting room right now. I'm going to put him on the spot because I talked to him on the phone today. Hi, Bruce. I was just talking about you in a room you weren't in and you popped in. How exciting is that? Love when that happens.
You want audio, Bruce? There we go.
Hi, Bruce.
Always takes me a while, doesn't it? Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm
That's okay. You're getting the best part. We were just talking about, Daniel asked, how do I make people feel like they're special and that they're my favorite?
Oh,
I
are
don't
we
know.
supposed to tell us? Tell you?
You give a testimonial on SDK, Bruce. I know you can, because I know you guys had a killer conversation earlier this week.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
I'll tell you. Hey, can we have a conversation? Which turns out to be, first of all, longer than you would think it would be. Maybe 15, 30 minutes, ends up being an hour of very generous giving of time and feeling like you're important. And we're going to talk about this topic, and 5 other things come into play that never even knew were related. And I left the conversation with, Daniel had said, talk to her about pricing. And I thought it'd be a 15, 30-minute conversation. And at the end, which lasted an hour, was, don't worry, I think you're worth my time. And a whole range of possibilities I never even considered, or were possible for me, are now within my realm of thinking. So yes.
Nice.
I limited the
do
time. I could go
That's how I
on.
do it. That's how I do it, Daniel. So, people who have the same ideal client as me, I pull closer. I have very strategic relationships with people, and I'm not afraid to say that. So with Bruce, I see potential with his ideal clients will be my clients. I see potential with future clients of mine bringing Bruce in to consult with those clients. So when I meet somebody like him, even though he's not sending me clients, he's not paying me, I see a future in our relationship. And that was how I felt when I met Daniel. And there's a whole list of other people that it just makes sense for us to really know, like, and trust each other. And I don't know where it's going to lead, but the intention is there to have a deeper relationship, to really know each other, and to have those people. I've said this 1,000 times, real connections are in your phone. And once you've made it past meeting me at a networking event, or coming to a workshop, and you've made it into my phone, that's how I know that I'm bringing you closer. I can text you an introduction, which is way more powerful than doing a LinkedIn introduction. So if I have a client for Bruce within the next 30 days, Bruce is going to become a client of mine just because I believe in him so much, right? Like, I know that. I know I could serve him so powerfully. But if he doesn't become a client of mine, I still want a relationship with Bruce. I'm not tied to Bruce becoming a client of mine. That's not the goal here. And I think when you really start to think about relationships in that way, you're able to have people feel special and cared for by you. And, you know, if Bruce lived nearby, we'd be having lunch together once a month. Daniel and I and our spouses would be out to dinner if we live closer, because I might like his wife more than I like him.
Everybody likes my wife more than they
Yeah.
like me, and I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, don't tell him I said that.
I'm good.
And you know, I think when you feel that way about people, don't be afraid to tell them. I have somebody who has called me 7 times in the past 3 months, and because her contact info is not in my phone, the message keeps landing in the other message box. So I never saw she called me 7 times. And I called her back today and I was like, "Oh my God, you called me 7 times? What on earth did you want? Did you need? I'm so sorry I didn't call you back. I feel horrible." And it was over like a 30-day period. She called 7 times. I said, "You need to be in my phone so you don't end up in the, you know, other folder." She's like, "I've made it into your phone." I said, "Well, now you have. You called me 7 times, for God's sakes. What do you want?" And she said, "I have a client for you." And I was like, "Oh, why?" And she said, "You referred 4 people to me." I said, "I did?" I talked about her at an event, and I said how people should meet her and go to her event. And that little encouragement of her at an event resulted in her feeling reciprocity to me. And she's been on the lookout for a client for me.
It's called Amber or Blaine, real quick. It's whoops.
Oh, that's okay.
Busted, Joseph.
So, Bruce, you had your hand up?
Wanted to say, and this isn't just a normal course of events, but it's also within what Daniel educates people to do, working with him is, I may not be a client, but I can find people that I think are good connections
Yeah.
for you too. So it's not, I received a lot of value, and one of the ways I can pay that back is by making a connection to you where I may not benefit from it at all, but the two of you might be able to do so. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of it also. And it's
Yeah,
how
and that's
Daniel teaches
part
us to
of the
do it.
listening thing,
Yeah.
right? I think I learned, you know, being in Daniel and I have done each other's offer. So Daniel's done my offer and I've done his offer. So we deeply know what each other does. And I recommend that with your really close connections. If you're a coach or some sort of consultant, you know, for other people to actually experience what you do in that deep way. I think I could be a salesperson for Daniel better than I could be a salesperson for myself, because selling someone else that you believe in, that you trust, is way easier than selling yourself. So having those relationships, it has increased. I don't have a dollar amount for my income increase in the last 2 years since I met Daniel. But I want to say it's at least 20% increase. I don't have a number, but I could figure it out, Daniel, if that would be helpful.
I think that is plenty right there.
Okay.
And what she's talking about is that I actually show people how to take the community that you're in and turn it into something that's profitable. If you're not getting 72 to 120 warm introductions to ideal clients per year, then whatever it is you're doing is not working the way it could. Anyway, that's not the point.
Yeah. But if you are getting, you know, I meet a lot of people who are getting introductions, and they are getting, you know, people who want to have those one-on-one coffee chats with people. Oh, let's get to know each other. And I'm going to propose that those calls, I've gotten so good at it that 9 out of 10 times, and I only do 2 or 3 of those a week now, but on those calls, those get to know you calls, the way I show up, the way I talk to somebody, the questions that I ask results in not only getting to know somebody, but having that other person say, God, Suzanne, that sounds amazing. How do I work with you? Oh, well, that wasn't the attention today, Sally. I have another call booked in 5 minutes, but if you're really serious and you want to have that conversation, we can schedule another call. And having people lean into you like that is magical. It feels like, God, I'm really doing something right here. If my ideal client's sitting right across from me and we're getting to know each other, and I don't have to hard sell, I don't have to pitch myself. I just have to describe what I do in an interwoven way that makes sense to my ideal client. And then when my ideal client shows up, they say, huh, I need that. I need what you've been working on for your whole entire life and you've pulled together and made happen, and you can do it for me in 8 weeks. Sign me up. And that's magical when that happens. And it feels like almost like a relief when you figure out that dance of the conversation. And I've had conversations where somebody says, well, that sounds wonderful. I'd really love to do that with you, but I can't afford that right now. Okay, cool. Stay in touch. I'm here when you need me. I'm not overcoming that objection. I don't need to anymore. I didn't need to learn to sell because it's become more authentic than that. Brian, did you have a question? You have your pen in your hand.
Oh, I'm just, doodling in the air, I guess.
Nice.
Fidgeting. It's great information. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. All right, everyone. Well, this has been a pleasure. Very happy to be here. And anytime, I'm going to put my contact info in the chat. I did put it on the form, but I will also put it in the chat. My newsletter on LinkedIn is all about the things we talked about today, all about charisma, twice a month, and it's super actionable. And the first link is for all of your resources from today's talk, all your story ideas, the free workshop if you want to register for that. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm in a I can't believe how many followers I have on LinkedIn, which is super exciting. Don't know how I did it. Gonna have to break that down for you all as well. And if you want to book a conversation with me, I put my link there too. Thanks for having me, Daniel.
All right, and thank you, Suzanne. This was wonderful. And everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. And thank you very much also for being Johnny on the spot at the very last minute. This was great. We do encourage everyone to join us on the first, third, and fourth Wednesday of every month for our Network with the Nations, our Sales Mastery, and our speaker series. So next week, we are going to be featuring Mr. Mark Thompson, his subject, The Power of Mental Toughness. Do be there for that. We'll be letting you all know, sending out our reminders, and we hope to see you. So Suzanne, thank you once again. Daniel, thank you for introducing, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.